Tyler, it's been a tough year for him, injuries and, kind of everything that's kind of surrounded him with that. He's a guy that, unfortunately, when you do get hurt and you're not on the active roster, guys get disconnected from the team a lot of ways. They might be in the building, but they're not really a part of it. So we've missed having him around and having him in the dugout, playing in the games, obviously, doing what he does, which is swing the bat really well. So just excited to get him back in the lineup and get him in the building and, have him back a part of the team.
How important are these last 2-ish weeks for him to maybe build some positive momentum going into the offseason and next year?
Yes and no. I don't think, in 2 weeks, it's going to go one way or the other in terms of what he does or he doesn't do. Just the big thing for Tyler is next year keeping himself on the field. So in terms of building momentum, 2 weeks won't do it. It's going to be next year, keeping himself healthy, keeping himself in the lineup, and doing everything that he can to do, which he has this year. He just had some unfortunate things pop up on him. So Tyler's a guy that we love having. Tyler's a guy that's an impact player. It's been a tough year. There's been a lot of bad luck. The tide will turn for the kid, no doubt.
I know that their injuries can be fickle things, and there's a lot of randomness that goes into them and bad luck, but have there been discussions between the organization, like the training staff and Tyler, about what he can do to maybe try to stay on the field next season?
Yeah, our training staff and our strength staff, they are second to none. They're incredibly good. So those discussions started before spring training even started. So with all of our players, we are incredibly proactive, trying to keep guys healthy. We are never in a reactive situation. If a guy gets hurt, he gets hurt, then we go to rehab. But it's not things that surprise us. We are constantly doing everything we can before the injury happens to make sure that guys are healthy and on the field. Tyler's the same way. Tyler knows his body well. He's been through it a lot of years. This has just been an unfortunate year for him. There's been a lot of bad luck in a lot of ways with his body and with his health. I do feel strong, and I'm confident that Tyler and then our medical group and our strength group going forward in 26 will get things taken care of and find a way to keep the kid on the field.
Westbrook is sitting to rehab assignment, as you kind of hoped. Is there a rough outline of what that might look like next couple, days, weeks?
Sure. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, Andy, but we got option A, option B. Option A, if all goes well, we'd see him in Chicago. If Westy needs more time, then it might be later than that. And kind of the way we've handled all of our rehabs is we're letting our players have some skin in the game on it. We do not want to bring them here if they're not ready. So as we communicate with these guys, knowing that everybody's body heals differently, and then everybody's readiness to play in a major league game kind of comes at different times. If we include these guys in on that, then we'll kind of come to the best conclusions, and hopefully when we get them back, they stay back and they're ready to go.
Jeremiah Jackson been playing a lot of right field for you. With Tyler O'Neill coming back, do you envision Jackson getting some more work in the infield? How do you see that balance kind of playing out?
Another good question. I think everybody's going to lose a little bit of time. I think now as you kind of bring Tyler in, he needs to get his at-bats. And then we'll kind of deduct from some different spots and different places, which will open up other areas for guys to play. With Jeremiah, we're doing the best we can and try to keep it as simple as we can right now in the big leagues and let him kind of, get used to hitting in the big leagues without having too many positions going on. So we'll see kind of where it goes. We'll be very day-to-day, and we'll do the best we can with the lineup and getting people in the right spots.
You never know how much you miss people when they don't play all year. But can you quantify now how much better that rotation is now? Rogers pitching well all year. You add Wells and Bradish to that?
Sure. Yeah, they give you a chance to win. When you walk in the ballpark and you got Bradish, you got Wells, you got Suarez in the building, you just feel like you got a good shot to win that day. So pitching is king. You have to pitch in the big leagues, and especially in this division, to win. You can't get by with mediocre pitching and great hitting. It doesn't work that way. It has to be great pitching one way or another, whether you have the offense or whether you don't. So pitching. That's been the formula for 150 years. It ain't going to change anytime soon.
I'm sure Gunner's going to break out of this mini slump anytime soon, but what have you been seeing from him at the plate recently?
Just forcing it here at the end of the year a little bit. I think that, for a lot of players, they get to this point of the year and they want to finish off a good season. It might not be the season that Gunner had last year, but you look up, it's still really a heck of a season, especially prior to the last week. So I think for Gunn is trying to kind of jam a square peg in a round hole in a lot of ways and force some things. He's got to stop doing that. We've talked to him about it. He's aware of that. He knows it. As he kind of takes what the game gives him, he'll get himself going again.
We've noticed a lot at first when Kobe is there, he comes off the bag early when a throw is a little bit offline for a tag. Is that something you have encouraged him to do, to basically, catch the ball first and make sure he's not trying to stretch from the bag?
Well, I think, first of all, I'll say this about Kobe. Kobe is light years ahead with his first base play and just overall defensive play over the last 3 months. That's been one of the beautiful things about having him here, being able to work with him and get him better at first base. Now, there's a contingent in the baseball world that thinks you can take anybody and put him at first base. It is incredibly wrong. It is a really difficult position to play, and if you do not have a good first baseman, you will not have a good infield. 3 good infielders, bad first baseman, it will be a bad infield. 3 mediocre infielders and a really good first baseman, the infield will play way up. So right now, Kobe is doing way better. As I said, there's still areas to improve upon, as there should be. He's really only been playing first for a few months now and wasn't playing every day, was spending a lot of time on the bench early on. So we need him to stay on the bag more often than he is. We're working hard on it, and he will eventually get there.